Good evening. Going to be playing a game of the Hunters, German U-boats at war, 1939 to 1943. A game by GMT Games. It is designed by Gregory Smith. Got this on eBay a couple weeks ago, around the $40 mark. Very reminiscent of some other solo games such as B-17. Kind of reminds me of Ambush as well. Definitely closer to B-17 where you're playing against the system. So we're playing as a U-boat captain, and Shadow, our resident cat down here in the game room, will be helping play along. So I'm going to start with some real basics with the patrol log. So the object of the game is to sink Allied shipping and try to rack up as much tonnage as you can. There are various levels to where you earn awards, promotions, and then ultimately, since it is a solo game, by the end of June of 43 or until your U-boat is sunk, you got to sink as much tonnage as you can, and there's various levels as you go. So here's my patrol log with our U-boat captain, Captain von Nibble. Probably a little tough to see, but I've started some initial scenarios. We've had, there's always going to be a little bit of refit in between, but we started all the way at the beginning, September of 39, sunk a couple of freighters, 4,400 tons, 3,300 tons, and our grand total here, 77. I know my handwriting is terrible, but what's cool, you end up taking some time to refit after each one of your missions. If your U-boat takes damage, which mine did in my patrol in January of 40, so it took me an extra 2 months of refit time before I could go out and patrol. Again, trying to sink tonnage. Anything that is circled is what I have sank. I sank 3 freighters, 2 tankers, found some capital ships in Norway. It's probably hard to see some of this, but was not very successful. But anyway, at the end of the mission, we're going to fill out this log sheet or this patrol sheet, and again, keep an accurate record, really to help with the story or the narrative of what we're doing. Here's one of the main sheets that we're going to be playing with, is the subtype. I'm in a Type 7B. And you can see I've got all of my torpedoes listed, steam torpedoes in my forward tubes, reloads, steam and electric, the one aft torpedo, steam and electric. We'll use this sheet to control or keep track how much hull damage or flooding takes place. Also on here you can see, so I have some crew upgrades, actually just one. My first warrant officer is an expert. So really, after every mission, this particular person could end up getting promoted to his own U-boat, and we would lose that. The advantage is with a first warrant officer who was an expert, if the captain, Captain von Nibble, was to perish or be incapacitated, the first warrant officer would take over, and him being an expert, there wouldn't be any deficiencies due to his expertise running the boat. So we'll be using this sheet to track, again, damage and torpedo shots. If we move over here, we'll have 2 other sheets we're going to be using. Our patrol sheet, a little bit of a glare, but the patrol sheet here is going to be where we go on patrol for various attack runs. So we'll keep track of our sub with the little Type 7B counter, and we'll go from transit to various patrol places like the British Isles, maybe off the Spanish coast, and then back to transit, and then back to port. So as we move, we'll be rolling on charts to find out what we find. That just kind of helps us keep track of where we are. And then when we do find stuff, we'll get into this one. This is our encounter sheet, where we're keeping track of what ships do we come in contact with, if they have any escorts, is it day or is it night, are we surfaced, that sort of thing. Again, a little bit of glare. Just kind of get you some general stuff. And what's really nice, the game has all of these little play-by-play charts. We won't get into those until we actually start getting into some actual play time, but that gets you some play-by-play stuff. We're also going to be using this encounter sheet and our U-boat assignment sheet to start to find out where we're going to go. And as you can all see, Captain Von Nibble over here is very excited to go on a U-boat patrol. So we're going to start rolling off some stuff here shortly, and then we'll play through a match. All right, so we are going to roll for our patrol. So we are actually patrolling in October of 40, so we're going to be rolling on this chart here. You can barely see off the other side. It's just a 2d6 roll. Again, the game uses d6s, d10s, and a d20. I don't know what the d20 is for yet, but mostly 6s and 10s. You need at least a couple of different colors. Game comes with what you need. So us being a captain, lieutenant, we get actually a rank 2, so that means we can actually roll a 6-sided die and see if we can decide our own patrol. And we rolled a 2, so no, we don't get to pick where we want to go. The Kriegsmarine Admiralty or Admirals decide where we're going, so we're going to roll 2d6 on this chart and find out where we're going to patrol at. And we get a grand total of a 6. So a 6 means in October of 1940, we're going to, thank you Von Nibble for the extra assist over here, we're going to the Atlantic. That's where we're going. So we're going to move our little guy over here. Again, apologize for some of the glare. We're going to move our boat, and we're going to essentially transit a couple places out here, and then start to patrol the Atlantic, which are these 4 boxes. So let's go ahead and do that. Thank you, Shadow, for helping. You're very helpful. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to move our boat over to transit, and then we're going to roll on the encounter chart. And we are looking for encounter chart here, transit, 2d6, add them together. Our dice roll is a 4, which is nothing. So first transit is nothing takes place. We're going to move on to the second transit spot. Same thing, 7 on transit. Again, this is this chart up here. This is transit. 7 is nothing. So we've made it to our patrol in the Atlantic. We're following this blue line. Splish splash. We're going to look for some good stuff. So now that we're in the Atlantic, we are going to be rolling on the Atlantic chart. And the Atlantic chart, even though there's a little bit of glare, let's try to move with that. There we go. So it looks like we could find capital ships, or convoys. And convoys means that we'll end up with 4 potential targets. If any time you roll a 12 or boxcars is actually an event and not the convoy. That's what the little note here was. The first time you roll that at any time. So first Atlantic space, we roll a 4. A 4 on the Atlantic is a dash. That's no contact. So we'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and move our guy. Captain Von Nibble continues the search. And the next roll. Uh-oh, we rolled Snake Eyes. And Snake Eyes on the Atlantic is, ooh, we spot a capital ship. Oh, man. All right, so we're going to pause here and find out what capital ship we find. All right, so we're on the capital ship or ship ID chart. If we're looking at our encounter chart here, it says capital ship. Roll for capital ship ID. Ship has escort and cannot be followed due to its speed. Meaning if it gets away from us, we can't follow it around. We would have to damage it to potentially get a second attack. So we've got our ship rosters here. We're going to roll on the capital ship target roster. It's it's a D10. Most of the time you're going to be looking at D100s on all the other styles of ship, but kind of unique finding a capital ship. So we're going to roll. And we roll a 4. A 4 is the cruiser Belfast. So the next really cool part about this whole game is, again, being the narrative. We're going to add that to our log here. So on our log in October of 40, we're going to write we're going to the Atlantic. And our first target that we find is the Belfast. And we're also going to write down how much tonnage it is. It's worth 10,000. So if we sink it, we're going to circle it. If we don't, well, it might just get away and we are out of luck. So now that we've done that, we're going to move on to the next chart over here. Back to our encounter chart. And we're going to find out if it's day or night. Can you read that? Day or night. So we're going to roll 1d6. It's a 2. 1, 2, or 3. We find the Belfast during the day. So that's where we're going to roll over to our combat chart. So we're going to put our little marker up there to today. We're going to not be surfaced. Then we're going to also find that these guys have an escort. There's a little escort counter there to remind us. We're going to then choose range for when to launch torpedoes. And then we're going to put the Belfast over here on our target chart. So we'll get that set up and see if Captain Von Nibble can sink the HMS Belfast. Alright, so we've got the HMS Belfast down here, and he's going to take 5 hits to sink. And we're going to determine how close we're going to try to get. And we're going to be using this U-boat gunfire torpedo chart. Again, it's really nice. All these charts in here are awesome. Very easy to follow. So we're going to determine how close we're going to try to get. Close range, medium range, long range. Close range is nice. We have a better chance to hit them with our torpedoes. However, the escorts have a chance to catch us before we even get a chance to launch torpedoes. So I don't think we're going to do that. Not only do the capital ships have torpedoes, capital ships have escorts, but also with us potentially launching, steam torpedoes, there's a better chance for them to find us. So we're going to go at medium range. So we're going to put that on our combat chart down here, which this would be our whole range token. We're going to put that at medium. And then if we're looking at our sub, we have got torpedoes up in our front too. We have 4. It's the most we can fire. It is a capital ship, so we're going to fire all 4 torpedoes. So we're going to pull these off of our chart here and place them down at the bottom of our torpedo attack chart. So let's actually slide. This is our second Atlantic spot. We're going to move this guy up. So we got 4 torpedoes at the Belfast, medium range during the day. So then we're going to go to our chart here. So each torpedo we're going to be throwing at medium range. So 7 or less will hit on 2d6. Any die roll modifiers. It's not night, and it's not an unescorted boat. We are not a Knight's Cross winner. We don't have a green crew. We are not firing a second salvo torpedo. We're not firing electric torpedoes. And none of our officers are wounded. So we're going to be throwing 2d6 4 times. We're looking for 7s or less to hit the HMS Belfast. So, I know the game comes with normal d6s, but to be thematic, I am going to pull out and use some of these. Those are actually 6s. So we'll roll them here and find out how we do. All right, first torpedo shot is a 6. That's going to be a hit. Second torpedo shot is a 10. That one sails wide, is a miss. Third torpedo shot, an 11. Oh no, our torpedoes aren't doing so hot. That's a miss. And our last shot is a 7. That is a hit. So we got 2 torpedo hits. Now, we actually have to roll to see if our torpedoes are duds. Because yes, torpedoes, while devastating, were not always very reliable. So we're in 1940. We are in October. If we roll a 1 or a 2 on 6-sided die, it will mean that these torpedoes are duds. So we've got 2 dice. First one is a 4. Second one is a 3. So no dud torpedoes. Awesome. 2 torpedo hits. We have a chance. Captain Von Nibble's men armed them correct. So we're going to go on our torpedo damage chart here. We're looking for low numbers. 1s, 2s, and 3s will do multiple points of damage. 4s or more will do 1. Remember, the Belfast is a cruiser. This guy takes 5 hits. She's a chunky girl. And we roll a 4. That's 1 hit. So we'll slide the Belfast down 1 on the damage chart from 5 to 4. And the next one is a 3, which is 2 damage. So we've damaged the Belfast. We didn't sink her. We're going to put a little note here on our patrol log. Well, now that that's happened, now we got to see if the escorts get mad and decide to run us down. So this is where this chart here really comes in handy. Following along, we have determined the size. We've decided to stay at day. We selected the range. We fired. We did everything. Now the escorts will attempt detection. We could decide if the U-boat will exceed Tep's depth. We're not going to do that. We haven't been damaged. We're just going to try to slip away here and potentially come back to fight again. So, escort detection chart. We're looking here. 8 or less is undetected. 9 or better, we will be detected. 12 or more means they really found us and puts us in a bad spot. So, die roll modifiers to this escort detection chart. So, we don't have any special modifiers here for our crew. We haven't taken any damage yet, but we are going to add +1 because this is a capital ship. They have got better escorts, and we shot steam torpedoes during the day, so they're able to follow that bubble trail. So we're going to be rolling 2d6 and adding 2. And really, so we're looking at a 6 or less to stay undetected as Captain Von Nibble hits the Belfast, tries to avoid the escorts, and we roll a 7, 8, 9. The escorts have found us. Now we got to find out how many times do they hit. They find U-boat. We're U-82. They're going to drop some depth charges and attack. We're rolling on this chart here. Oh, geez, we rolled a 12. That is 5. Count it, 5 incoming hits. So, not real good on the U-boat damage chart. That is a D66. So we're going to pick 2 different dice and call the, where is my other 6-sider? Here we go. This is going to be the 10s. The white one's going to be the 1s. Hit number 1, 25, which would be diesel engine number 2. Oh no, diesel engine number 2 is going to be damaged. So this is where we're going to take one of these counters, damage counter onto our U-boat, and we find diesel engine number 2 has been damaged. That was only one hit. We got 4 more to go. Now, what happens when our diesel engines are damaged? On the back of this sheet tells us what it is. Diesel engine damage. If one diesel engine is out, the U-boat aborts patrol after combat. Roll twice for encounters as we go back to port. If both are out, ship is scuttled. If more than one travel box out from home port, if only one travel box out, U-boat is towed home. Oh boy, oh boy. Well, we hope we don't get both of our diesel engines hit. We do have a chance to repair them. Let's see if we can survive this escort attack. Next hit is 35, a hull. All right, we're going to go over here, and now we're going to put 1 point of hull damage on. 3 more hits to go. These escorts are mad. 16, electric engine number 1. Ay, 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 the poor engines. All right, we're going to put a damage on electric engine number 1. Electric engines. If one engine is out, the U-boat cannot maneuver as well underwater. During the escort or air attack, if one engine is out, +1 to their attack roll. Oh boy. Oh man, that's not good. So now they're going to be easier to find us. Not good. Not looking good. Next hit, 31. Flooding. Great. So now we're going to take this flooding counter and put it there. And there's a rule. When you take flooding, place and advance the flooding marker in the box. When all boxes are flooded, U-boat must blow ballasts and surface or be sunk. Following combat roll, check for additional flooding. All right, well, we'll do that after this next combat roll. All right, our last hit was actually, in fact, another hull damage. So we're up to 3 hull damage. Now we got to roll and find out if the escorts still continue to come in at us, and we're going to be taking some additional modifiers. Not great. So, Captain Von Nibble, can we get away? So the HMS Belfast does leave. We are no longer able to try to sink the Belfast. These torpedoes we shot. So following this, detected U-boat is depth charge. Roll for hits. Determine if we're sunk. We're not flooding. Return back to step 8. Escort attempts detection. So since they're attempting detection and they shot us, if we're detected, we are going down to step 10, and the encounter ends because of, well, the encounter for us to try to sink the Belfast is gone because the escorts are driving us off. So we are looking at an 8 or less, and here are our modifiers. We're adding +1 because we have a diesel engine out. We have +1 because it's a capital ship, and we have another +1 because they've previously already detected us. So that is not good. Oh no, sorry, we only have a +2. The next +1 for the diesel engine is if they detect us, we take potentially extra hits. All right, so we're looking still at that 6 or less. We roll a 7. The escorts find us and depth charge us again. This time for 5. This is where we do the extra +1. So 4 plus 5 plus 1 is 6. We're only taking 1 hit. Not bad. We're maneuvering. We're starting to get away. 10's dice. 12. More flooding. Okay, so we're up to 2 boxes of flooding. All right, we got to do this all over again. Trying to escape. +2, 6, 7, 8. We are undetected. All right, U-82 gives those escorts the slip. Now we got to try to repair our boat. Let's get over here to our damage part. First of all, let's try to fix electric engine number 1. We're going to roll 1d6. On a 1 through 4, we fix the engine. On a 5 or a 6, it is inoperable. All right, electric engine number 1 is a 4. Successfully, the crew has fixed the engine. All right, good job, boys. Diesel engine. A 1, we fixed the diesel engine. All right, good job again, boys. And let's see what else we got to try to fix. I think that's about it. All right, so we did the flooding thing a little wrong. We're actually supposed to be checking this after every combat round, but we weren't really in any danger of being overflooded, only being at one point. So now we have a choice to make. We can either continue on our adventure, or we could abort our mission. We haven't sunk anything yet. We're still doing okay. We got a little bit of hull damage. It's going to take some time to repair anyway. Captain Von Nibble says, "Press on, men." So we go to the next Atlantic spot to find out what we could potentially run into. So back to our encounter chart on the Atlantic. We roll an 11. 11 on the Atlantic is nothing. Oh, you probably can't see that. Now you can. Nothing. All right. The last Atlantic transit spot. This is it. Let's find some boats. Come on, boats. And we get a 7. Ooh, a 7 is a convoy. All right. So, convoy. We'll read the convoy thing. Roll 4 times for each ship size and ID. Convoy has escort. All right, we found a convoy. We're going to find out if it's day or night. Captain Von Nibble, 3. We found the convoy during the day again. All right, it's daytime. We're going to be submerged. Let's find out what we find for boats. So, determine ship size down here. 1 through 3. A 6, we find a tanker. A 5, a large freighter. A 3, a small freighter. And a 2, another small freighter. So we're going to roll up all these IDs and see if U-82 can sink some ships. All right, forgot to mention that we had to reload our torpedoes after firing at the Belfast. We're going to do 2 steams, 2 electrics to load up, and we did end up finding the 8,000-ton tanker, the Anadara, 5,100-ton King Malcolm, the 1,800-ton Trivia, and the 4,400-ton Condalis. So we're going to place all those out on our U-boat combat map and then decide what we're going to do as far as attacks go. All right, we got our targets set out. Tanker being less than 10,000 tons is going to take 3 hits. Same thing with a large freighter. It's going to take 3 hits. The 2 small freighters are going to take 2. So we could, in theory, try to find and follow this convoy and switch from daytime to nighttime, which might not be a bad idea. We haven't had a lot of luck here lately actually sinking anything, but there's a chance we'd roll 1 die on a 5 or 6 that we'd lose track of the convoy. So I think what we're going to do, I think we're going to try to get in our licks while we can, even though it's day, and hope to sink something. Out of our forward tubes, we've got 2 steam torpedoes. It's going to make us easier to spot, but you know what? We don't really care. We're going to go medium range. We don't feel like getting in close and getting escorted. We're not going to be too daring yet. Maybe next one. We're going to put both the steam torpedoes at that tanker. That one's worth a little bit. And we got our 2 electrics we could fire. We could fire those maybe at the other freighter, or maybe they don't hit as well. Let's fire them both at the 1 small freighter that's worth 4,400 tons. Just because if we hit one, we got a better chance of sinking it. So let's go ahead and start launching torpedoes. We'll start with the steam torpedoes on the tanker. Our normal medium range is a 7 or less. It's not night. We're not Knight's Cross. Nothing else special. We're looking for a 7 or less to hit. We roll boxcars. Oh boy. Missed with that steam torpedo. Second one is an 11. We missed with that steam torpedo. Now, to launch torpedoes against the small frigates, the electrics. The electrics do have a modifier. We're adding +1 to the dice roll. They're just not as reliable at longer ranges. So we're looking for 6s to hit this one. Of course, we roll a 7. First electric misses. Second one is a 7. So all of our torpedoes missed. Let's find out if the escorts find us. So escort number modifiers are going to be +1 because we use daytime steam torpedoes. We're looking for an 8 or less, +1, so 7 or less, and we escape. 7 + 1 is 8. They do not detect Captain Von Nibble and U-82 because, well, we probably didn't hit anything and they had no idea what was going on. So that all tracks. I gotta check here to see if we can follow the convoy or if we're done. All right here on our lucky sheet, undetected U-boat. We didn't sink anything. We didn't damage anything. If no targets were damaged and the encounter was a ship or a convoy, we can attempt to follow. Roll a d6. On a 1 through 4, we managed to follow, and we restart at step 1 and found if it's day or night. And we rolled a 2. All right, we're following the convoy. We're going to reload our torpedoes. Same thing. 2 of each. And step 1, day or night. When we are 3, we still find them during the day. All right. Let's do this. Let's go crazy. This is the last bit of torpedoes. Let's close in on close range. We're going to get up here. We're determined to kill something, right? Right? Captain Von Nibble is tired of all the misses. So now we got to proceed to escort detection because we're getting so close. They're rolling 2d6. If they roll a 10 or better on 2 dice, they detect us and basically do an attack before we get a chance. And wouldn't you know it, we rolled a 10. So the escorts find us. These guys all get away. And then we roll on the detected, move to step 10. U-boat is depth charged. So we didn't fire any torpedoes, so 2d6 is an 8. And that is going to be 3 hits. They found us. They put depth charges on as we tried to sneak into the center of this convoy. Not looking good. 62 is our first damage. And 62 is an aft torpedo door. So what that means is if it's at night, we can actually shoot aft torpedoes. But as long as this is damaged, we actually can't shoot torpedoes out of the aft torpedo doors. All right, 2 hits to go. 33 is the hull. Oh boy, we're up to some extra hull damage. And the next one is 56. The deck gun. Oh man, our 88 on the deck has been damaged. We're going to put that up here on our damage chart. So again, we got damage here. We've taken 4 hull damage. We got our damaged torpedo doors. And now we're going to see if we can't escape from this nasty escort service. We're looking for an 8 or less, but they found us. So we're looking really for a 7 or less on 2 dice, and we get a 7 + 1 is 8. U-82 escapes. And now we got to see if we can fix our torpedo doors and our deck gun. Deck gun, we're going to roll 1d6. On a 1 or 2, it's fixed. It's a 2. All right, the boys get the 88 back up and rolling. It's about our only armament. Our aft torpedo doors are inoperable. So we'll come over here to our chart. We'll flip this damage to inoperable. So that means that we cannot fire torpedoes from that specified spot. So U-82 has really no forward torpedoes. Well, it does have its full stack of torpedoes on board because we got detected. But we can't shoot anything out of our aft. So that was our 4th patrol box. We are now going to sail back to good old port. So we're going to roll on our 2 encounter charts. Encounter in transit, we get a 4, which is nothing. Transit again, 4, which is nothing. So that looks like about all that we have got for U-82 on this mission. Unsuccessful. So that is not good. That is an unsuccessful mission. We sank nothing. That's our 3rd one in a row. The previous 2 we were sent up to Norway. We started out good. British Isles. Then Norway, we found those darn capital ships. Apparently fighting capital ships is not the way to go. So we'll go to our refit round. We've taken enough hull damage to require 2 extra months of... You always have to have 1 month of refit, but 2 extra months of refit. So it doesn't look like our crew is going to be ready to go until February of 41 on U-82. So essentially, that's it. That's the game. Again, we're rolling the dice. We're playing the system. We're trying to sink boats. Hopefully, if anyone tries it out, you have better luck than U-82 did. And we'll catch you next time.